right, welcome to Primos for Life, the wrestling podcast made for the fans, by the fans. Como siempre, yo soy Eddie, el niño vaque. We got Ariel, the Ecuadorian dream bisueta, and we are your self-proclaimed, undisputed co-host tag team champions of the world. And on tonight's episode, we're breaking down Backlash 2025. Ariel and I discussed the big moments, the shocks, and who really stole the show. Plus, we also jump into the fallout on Monday Night Raw and how it shapes the road ahead. So, como siempre, sit back, grab a snack, and let's get it on. Primo, what's up?
What's going on, dude? How are you? ¿Cómo estás?
Yo estoy muy bien because I just got back from Manta, Ecuador.
That's right. How was the trip, man? How was the trip?
Fantastic. We didn't want to leave, bro.
I mean, yeah. Now, wait, are they still having a couple issues over there in terms of like the putting the power on for a couple hours of the day and stuff like that?
No,
because last time my pops went, they were like shutting the power down for like 4 hours a day. Like,
no, not for us. We were chilling. We were just eating, drinking, and on the Wi-Fi. So I was able to watch Backlash while I was over there.
Yeah. Oh man. I speaking of that, like I had to work that night, and then when I got out, Amanda was going to be about 2 hours behind me. So I was like, I'm going to go sit in the car and watch Backlash. So I sat in the car, just watched it on my phone, watched half of it, went to the bar, slammed 2 drinks, went back, watched the other half.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
So looking forward to everything. Glad you're back. Glad you're safe. Glad you enjoyed everything. Just give everybody kind of a quick heads up as to what we're doing today. It's going to be a quick Backlash recap, and then a recap of this past episode of Raw, which was the 11th, the 12th, maybe
the 12th.
The 12th. Perfect. And then leading into coming up to SmackDown and everything like that. So yeah, let's. Oh wait, before we get started. I would definitely like to take a moment to send regards and wishes to the family of the now deceased famed ECW, WCW, WWE superstar, Sabu. Sabu was absolutely fantastic. I grew up when ECW was in its peak, and Sabu, man, the things that guys did, man, it was insane. The way he just left his body on the line all the time was crazy. So just want to say rest in peace to the homicidal, genocidal, suicidal Sabu.
Yeah. Beautifully said, man. I can't even add more to that. It's just, he was an incredible athlete, and he will be missed for sure.
That's for sure. That's for darn sure. So let's have a bang-up episode in honor of Sabu today.
Let's get it. Well, before we jump into Backlash and Raw, all I have to say is I don't know what I'm talking about. And I've noticed that I'll sit here and complain about certain things that were done, but then surprisingly, I'm not going to lie, I went into Backlash thinking that it was going to be whack. Like, I mean, I really thought it wasn't going to be as good as the buildups were leading up to, because there was 1 week where it was solid, and then 1 week where it was like, oh, let's get over this, and this is running too long. Right. And I kind of just like feel like I put my foot in my mouth, because I feel like every match was actually well done. Every match was really entertaining, and I loved the outcome of all of them. Every single one of them. Now, yes, there are little things that I want to nitpick at, which we will get into, but overall Backlash was actually entertaining in my opinion. I enjoyed it a lot.
A solid pay-per-view coming off of, like Mania and everything, and having to just string something together. I mean, only 5 matches, but like you said, every match was a solid one. A lot of good storytelling, a lot of setup, and just some really, really great wrestling.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's jump right into Backlash, and then that way we can get into Monday Night Raw. So Backlash opens up with the Fatal 4-Way, right? The United States Championship. Yep. We got Fatu, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest. Now, what I enjoyed about this match was the fact that it was really like a spot fest. I feel like everybody hit their moves. It was all done, executed perfectly. It was entertaining. And I honestly wish the buildups weren't so dreadful in certain cases.
Okay.
because I feel like had had it been executed the way that this match was, I feel like I would have been happy all the way leading up to it. But overall, I feel like it was a good save, great match. Very happy with the outcome. Very happy with how it ended and what's hope. I'm looking forward to SmackDown now to see what's going to happen with Jacob and Solo and everyone else. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, that's what I'm feeling right now.
I mean, I agree with you 1,000,000%. I thought the match was very well done. A lot of big spots, a lot of intricate things that happened here and there. There was one point where McIntyre was about to pin, I think it was LA Knight, and get the win, and then of course Priest pulls him out, and it's just another moment of Priest screwing McIntyre, and building to this, and just yeah, no, great all the way around. And then at the end, I'll let you bring the surprise of what happened at the end of the match.
Yeah. So at the end of the match, it's mayhem, right? Because they're all just like on the floor and everybody's just trying to, get back at it. And then ultimately we see Solo come in and basically do an interference. But we were wondering like why he's there, and then we see at first like a mysterious figure, right? Like do like pop out of nowhere. Nobody in the and it was funny because when I was watching this match, I was like, where's the camera guy? Like, why is the camera guy not on point right now to see who this is? And then finally, it's revealed that we have a new WWE superstar on the roster and a legend through New Japan and all other promotions. This guy, um, Mr. Jeff Cobb, right? I
Mr.
believe.
Jeff Cobb, Mr. Jeff Cobb. Yeah, wherever he's been killing it. So
everywhere,
Jeff
everywhere.
Cobb.
Yes. And yeah, man, once the reveal happened, everybody's in shock. And who did he slam against the it was he slammed
It was
the
Knight, wasn't it?
it was Knight, right,
It
right, right.
was Knight because it was like Priest had already taken out McIntyre, and there was that whole thing. So,
and then ultimately leading to Jacob getting the win, but Jacob evidently like furious with this outcome because it's like he never asked for help. What is Solo doing? But I also like the idea of like, hey man, Solo, from Solo's point of view, right? It's like, hey, I brought you in, you were my enforcer. Now you all big and bad all by yourself. Well, that doesn't change the fact that I still need an enforcer. So hence here's why we got Jeff involved. So really, really solid. It really got me curious for Friday Night SmackDown. I want to see how this is going to play out and hopefully lead to something crazy into SummerSlam since it's going to be a 2-night event. So
yeah. I mean, the one thing that I did notice, because Jeff Cobb, like you said, he's been around before. So I did a little research, and there was quite a feud in I think it was New Japan with him and Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
So I think another reason why Fatu showed that he was annoyed with who came. A, I didn't ask for help. B, I don't like this guy, and this is who you called to help out. Like if you brought someone else to help out that was family, if one of the Tongans was there or something like that, still gonna be annoyed, but not nearly to the point as someone he doesn't really care for and has had a feud with.
Yeah.
So I think this is gonna be fun, and I'm with you, man. I can't wait to see how it turns out and how everything shakes out tomorrow night. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. And then that little bit of sprinkle of pulling back the curtain a little bit more, right? Like again, Triple H acknowledging like, hey, like you said, there's a history there. If you just watch WWE, you're like, who is this guy? Why do they have a history?
Right.
But now that you're acknowledging that everything else, or as I like to look at it as like superhero, like alternate Earths or alternate universes kind of thing, is like no, we're acknowledging that it all exists in the same timeline. So therefore, yeah, no, they had beef in New Japan. You know what I mean? Like they did this in the Indies. So therefore, it does matter now. You know what I mean? And that's awesome. And I'm like again, I'm super excited. Can't wait.
Man, I can't wait. But that match was solid. And I think you and I both picked that right with Fatu as our logical choice.
Yeah.
Yes, here's the Fatu. Yep. Both had Fatu. So
yeah. And then you picked, I believe, Damien for the fun choice.
Yeah, for the fun choice, I went Priest just because that would have been fun. But once again.
Fun. No, overall great match. I was happy with it. What do we do grades with again? Out of 5? Out of 10?
Out of 10.
Out of 10?
Out of 10?
Yeah, I give it a like a 7.58. I was very happy.
I was gonna go 8. I was gonna go 8.
8 is solid.
Solid B. You know, maybe 8.5, but yeah, I'm solid 8, definitely.
Very, very awesome way to start the evening. So
yeah,
very good with that.
Really good.
And then we jump into the women's Intercontinental Championship match between Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. And I will just start off by saying that I really hated the build up to this.
Yeah. I mean, you and me both. Neither of us were happy the past couple times we had to talk about these segments.
I had private messages come through our Instagram page saying, "Why are you guys hating on Becky Lynch so much?" And it's just like, hey, it is what it is, man.
I mean, listen, this is an opinion show, man. So we're not gonna have the same opinions of the people. And the thing is, it's nothing necessarily against Becky Lynch. It's kind of like I think you and I are just kind of like, we want to see the newer people pushed and stuff like that. And we just, when people come back, that's all great and well and good, but we don't want to see them thrust into everything and just kind of like take the thunder from the people who've been there working while they haven't been there, whether it be injury or paternity leave or whatever it may be. You know, so I think that's because I don't have a problem with Becky Lynch. I just, same thing with Charlotte when she came back, was like, oh, great, she's in the Rumble. We know she's going to win. Here goes the match at Mania, you know. So, apologies to everybody who, you know, kind of annoyed with us for that, but hey, man, it's what it is.
Yeah. But, you know, in that regard, though, I will say to those folks that did feel that way, yeah, you were kind of right. And I'm sorry. And I apologize for being that jerky. Yes, I have my opinions. Yes, we have our opinions. But you know what? They definitely shut me up with a tremendous match, because that match was very, very entertaining. It was awesome. They both, I felt like I want to see a part 3, because technically this is part 2, right? Because they did this in Halloween Havoc and NXT. So I want to see this maybe 1 or 2 more times, just a little bit more, you know, grittier or something crazier. But I'm okay with
it seems like that time is coming, because, you know, with what happened on Raw, which we'll get into in a minute. But it looks like that's happening. And now, yes, to your point, now I am a little more intrigued into this storyline, and not quick to be like, oh God, let me go get something to drink while this is happening.
Yeah, exactly. So no, super, super solid match. I'd rate this one, I'd give it an 8 as well. I thought it was pretty solid. I enjoyed it, and it definitely kept the pace of the night, and you know, and definitely going into the next match. So I was happy with it. That was cool.
I'm gonna go 7.5 just because I liked the 4-way match just a little bit more. This was a very solid match, and I'm only doing this to be a jerk, because I don't want to give the same grade because I like the other match better. So in fairness of grading, that's where I am. But yeah, no, very solid match. You and I both got this one correct as well, as we both went Lyra. Lyra retains and sets up for Monday Night Raw, and which once again we will get into. So, but solid match from both competitors, really well done.
See, very nice, very nice. And then we got the third match of the evening, which is the men's Intercontinental Championship match, and that is between Dominic Mysterio contra Penta Cero Miedo.
Well, real quick, I do want to mention, I completely forgot to mention this about the previous match. The match ended with Lyra winning, but the match, the segment ended with Becky using the disarmer on Lyra and putting her and hurting her so that she's going to miss another episode. Okay, sorry. Now, let's go. Yeah, so, good. Penta versus Dirty Dom and the Judgment Day.
Yeah, take it away.
Great match. Great match. Dom looks really good. Dom looks really, he's standing on his own 2 feet, and he's doing a great job doing so. Kudos to him, whoever he's training with or he's working with, to the WWE for giving him this spot. I mean, a lot of times with Judgment Day recently, he wasn't really wrestling a lot, and I figured maybe he was using that time to train to get better in the ring, stuff like that. But it seems to have worked out, because we know Penta's a great worker, and Penta can make damn near anyone look great. But Dom truly held his own, and this was a very fun match front to back. Like, really, really good.
Agreed. I thought all the spots were fantastic. They definitely made each other look well. Was this the match, though? Because I may confuse myself with Raw. Was this the match where Carlito gets the Destroyer?
No,
that was Raw,
no. That was yeah. So this match was during the match, chicanery and tomfoolery as always from the Judgment Day, but the ref spots him.
Yes,
so he tosses them. Then as the ref's back is turned at one point, your homie, El Grande Americano, comes out and headbutts Penta with that metal thing in his mask. So Penta goes down. Dominic uses that chance to frog splash him, and retain the championship. But it was through, once again, your boy, El Grande Americano, interference. Solid match.
Hey, he hails from the Gulf of America. You can't hate on that.
I totally can, but I won't. We don't have the time.
No, but again, very entertaining match. Super, super awesome. I can't wait to see where this continues going. I feel like, I mean, I guess it's ultimately because excuse me, with Finn Balor and the whole Judgment Day thing, I feel like that's gonna be the end game. But to be honest with you, I kind of don't want it to be that way. I hope we get to a point where it's like, like maybe a Hell in a Cell or something crazy where Dominic doesn't get pinned. You know what I mean? Like it just I want them to take this as far as they can with Dominic and the IC because there's just so many contenders and just so many things you could do with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
well, I mean, especially since you've moved Breaker and a couple other guys to more prominent roles of what you would call the mid-carders vying for this belt. Yeah, there's a bunch of them and they're all great. And this could be a lot of fun. And once again, Dom is doing great work in the ring and deserves the push that he's getting. And I think it's fantastic. I do want to see this play out a little longer because I think, like you said, this could be a lot of fun. Yeah. And I hope they do.
Yeah, for sure. And this one for me was an 8. Again, straight 8 so far. I liked it a lot.
This one I'm going 8 as well. I'm going 8 as well. The only reason I'm not giving it 8.5 is because I don't want to be deemed a homer for Penta. So 8 it is.
Now you love that dude, man. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, he's fantastic.
Dude's awesome, man. Dude is awesome.
Yeah. And then we get into.
Oh wait, so we both picked that one as well.
Yes, we did. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
And then we get into the fourth match of the evening, which is Gunther versus Pat
the one
McAfee.
You were looking so forward to.
Man, hey, you know what? Again, I was surprised. I really thought this match was going to be terrible. At first I was like, why would they put this one fourth? Like this should have been like number 2, if anything. But kudos, to Pat McAfee for getting in there, and then kudos to Gunther for really holding it down because he carried him in such a good way where you couldn't even tell. Like they did such a great job. And I like the way it ended. And I like Michael Cole getting into the mix. I love, him trying to help out his friend. And it was sweet.
Holding Walter's leg down when he's trying to pin him and stuff. Yeah, it was that. I think also part of the reason they put it fourth was because this way you can have McAfee call the first 3 matches.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then this way you only need is it Barrett who came in to do the last match, I think, with Cole.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of the reason why, but I agree with you. I thought this was fun. I thought the Michael Cole coming up and then getting shaken down and McAfee kicking. I thought it was fun. It was well done. Of course, the right person won because it had to be Gunther.
Yeah.
But very well done. And to your point, kudos to Gunther for making McAfee look like someone who could be in a WWE match. There's certain people, because you have these matches with celebrities. You have the Bad Bunnies of the world. Priest made him look good.
Right.
Things like that. So I think it was, to your point, very, very well done. Ending worked. Respect to Gunther. And yeah, good match. I'm going to go 7.
Yeah. I think I'll give it the extra 0.5 simply because I like what it did for Gunther going into Monday Night Raw. And obviously we'll get into that, but I like what that did to lead us into what happens next. So yeah, I agree. Solid. Good match. I was happy with it.
Yeah, quite content. Good. Glad. It worked out. It wasn't like at one point I was like, oh, well, this is just like stupid, unbelievable. Because when it started to get to a point where you're like, okay, he should just whoop his ass and this needs to be over. That's when they insert the Michael Cole angle and stuff like that. So they did this well. Really nice.
Yeah. And then finally, the main event of the night, we get Mr. John Cena, the greatest, best living champion in the world, and versus Randy Orton, Legend Killer, almost 15-time champion, 14 at this point.
14, and now you just gave it away, so you're now
And I
ruining
just gave it away. Spoiler alert. Obviously, John wins, but you know what? I'm gonna start off with the grade, and then I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
I give this basically a 7, and only for 2 reasons.
Okay.
One, I hated the spot with the managers and the agents coming out where Randy RKO's all of them, because
Right.
if you rewatch it, I think it was Noble was the closest one. I think it was the Hurricane. It was Hurricane
Oh, poor
that was the
House.
furthest from the ring apron, who gets hit with the RKO and then rolls like 20 times out of the ring. And I'm just like, no way, bro. Just
come on,
stop.
man. You used to do this. You find the shorter route out. What is wrong with you? Come on.
And then Jamie Noble did do that. He was the one that got the quickest and cleanest out of there. But ultimately, I thought that was excessive. Like, I get it. Hit 1 or 2 of them, not all of them in sync where they all roll out perfectly out of the ring.
Well, I mean,
no, that really aggravated me. And then overall match was great, but I'm gonna blame the cameramen for this one. I saw Cena spot call a lot of things.
Oh yeah,
it was like blatantly obvious, and I'm just like, dude, what is
not a good
happening?
job of hiding it, of covering yourself with your arm, or stuff like that. Yeah, there was a couple times I was like, okay, okay, that's gonna.
Yeah, it's like, obvious. Reverse it right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw you. Just hit me with the elbow, and I'm just like, come on.
It's like, damn, dude. Like, it's so like I know you haven't been doing this in a little while, but
yeah.
Clean it up, man. Clean it up. This is a main event and against Randy Orton. And
again, exactly, and that's my point exactly. It's like it's not no Joe Schmo. This is a rivalry match. This is a dream match, especially for the last hurrah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I felt like, even though I enjoyed it, and I liked how it ended ultimately, and I like, what John Cena is trying to do, I just feel like, for that final match of the evening, it shouldn't have been the weakest match, grade wise, right? Because everyone else got 8s and stuff, but a 7.5, I think those 2 things really kind of ruined it for me. But other than that, though, I mean, I think it was maybe saved by the ending of the match where R-Truth comes out and helps his boy out, but then finally, taking it a step further with the press conference, when they confront each other, and then he goes through the table, calling him Ron. It's like, listen, Ron, he crossed the line, and then boom, gets hit.
I don't understand why. First of all, the R-Truth, the way it ended, I was like, oh god. I was like, okay, all right.
You knew it was coming, though.
I mean, I was trying to figure out how they were going to do this and not have Cena win his clean to be able to build another spot with Orton, because you're going to need to. That's not going to be the last match they ever have. So when R-Truth came out, I was like, okay, all right, I guess this is what it is. But then I agree with you. To anyone who didn't see, there was a press conference afterwards, and R-Truth just came up and he was talking to Cena. He wasn't even like trying to do anything. And then Cena just looked at him all tough and was like, if you say one more thing, Ron, I'm gonna put you through the table. And then like Truth was like, but like what? And then sure enough, he picked him up, he put him to the table, and I was like, okay, that at least cool, like better than the ending of the match, which I was not a big fan of. I agree with you. I'm going to give this match a 7, just because I didn't care for that ending much at all. So I once again, I think it was kind of a waste. You could have built this longer and put it at a different pay-per-view and had Cena take out somebody, cleaner, or, like someone who's had a shorter feud with an AJ Styles, Sheamus, I mean, these guys just came back or whatever, but I'm saying, like, I think it would have been a lot better than the ending of this match and now having to build another thing with Orton. And it just, I don't know, for me, it kind of fell flat. So I give it a 7, because I just wasn't a fan of the ending. The press conference saved it, but judging the match itself, 7.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm there with you. And I just wanted a little bit more. The only upside in my case is I feel like if this does set up a R-Truth versus Cena match for Saturday night's main event, I'm excited because I will be there. So I want to see that.
Right.
You know, because the other two matches that have been officially made, I'm also looking very much forward to. So I'm excited about
For
that.
Saturday, yeah, we'll get into that because they were announced, I believe, at Raw. So
Yeah. So overall, let's give the pay per view or PLE the final grade, and then let's move on to Monday Night Raw.
okay, what's your final grade? I'll let you go first.
7.5.
7.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going on average. I'm like, there's a 7, there's a 7.5, there's an 8, there's an 8.5, there's like 2 8s. I'm like, yeah. So I'm gonna live in 7.75
This
range.
guy.
7.75 stars. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna go 7.5. I'm gonna go 7.5.
Yeah.
Just not be a clown show, and then you're gonna be like, now I'm gonna start throwing 6.92. I'm like, no. Let's just do this easy.
They say that not all men are created equal. You take his 33% chance. That gives me a 66.
That gives me 66 exactly. Look at us doing math.
No, but overall solid. It was an enjoyable watch. I think the surprising factor was the fact that it was so enjoyable because I really, really wasn't looking forward to it, and now I'm just like, man, I'm glad I watched it, and I'm glad to see where all the pieces fell the following Monday. So very happy with it in a watchable sense. So yeah, I was cool.
Right. Yeah. A pay-per-view or not a pay-per-view, a PLE where I wasn't like, shit. I was like, nope, good matches, couple story builds, couple things that are going to come up the next day and this Friday. So yeah, I agree. So without further ado, I'll let you kick off Raw.
All right. And we kick off Monday Night Raw on the 12th, right? May 12th.
May 12th.
In Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville, but it's pronounced Louisville.
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Louisville,
Kentucky. And we get the infamous walk-ins of all the superstars. We see the Judgment Day, Io Sky, and basically a breakdown of the matches that are going to come on the card for Monday night. And then we see a little quick recap of last Monday with Seth and Jey Uso and that how all that escalated and came to be. And then CM Punk saves the day, which ultimately leads to him walking very mad towards the ring. And, he starts off the show. So he gets walking down the ramp and gets to the apron. Cool little call out to Sabu, right? Because right before he gets into the ring, he points up in such fashion.
Yep.
Really cool call out for that. I was very happy to see that. And then basically talks about how pissed off he is at himself because he trusted Paul Heyman, but he's been screwed by him before in the past. And he's a little fat snake, which, little fat snake. That's crazy. And mad at Timu, CM Punk, Seth Rollins.
Why is he using the Drew McIntyre Timu line, man? I was like, come on, dude. See you just biting, dude. Just biting.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, they're on two different shows, so it's okay.
Man.
And then the real funny call out though was when Heyman was walking down and CM Punk is like, "Come on, Penguin." I was like, "Yo,
yeah." I was like, "Ooh, Oswald Cobblepot, nice one, yeah, man." It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And then also the side comment of, "You're just a song, kid," to Seth Rollins, like. Yeah, which people say that a lot about Cody with his entrance. So that's a little.
Listen, I'm not gonna let you sit here and disparage Cody Rhodes. Okay. Yeah, listen, I will fight you. I will jump to the screen and fight you right now. No, it was good. Well, it was good. Like Heyman came out, right after, as he's walking down, and then of course you're gonna get Rollins and Breaker, and it just becomes a to-do.
Yeah.
As always.
Yeah, and then basically they send Breaker down to attack Punk. Then while he's getting attacked, Sami Zayn comes into the rescue, but then he gets thrown out really quick, and then Seth gets into the mix, and then they're about to get a chair to decapitate Punk, and then ultimately the most over World Heavyweight Champion, Jey Uso, comes out to save the day as well, grabbing chairs, kicking men out of the ring, and then ultimately the three standing tall at the end of that segment, which I was happy with. I was cool.
I was good. It was, good to see Punk come out and do that. And then you knew he was going to get worked over and just had to figure out what was going to happen next. It was Zayn, great 2-on-2. And then Uso comes out with the great equalizer of the chairs, which is good because, it seems like since Mania, Heyman's faction has been standing tall most nights. So you have to have him kind of walk out scared or just walk out at some point. So I think this was a good chance to do so with the 3-on-2. Also opening the door for a bunch of possibilities moving forward, which I will talk about in a couple moments when we get to the segment of this faction in the back. But solid opening, really good. I was like, great. It's a great way to start. After a PLE, you know, you still get, because none of these players were really involved. So it was just nice to have it, you know, showcase these three guys and have them do such a great job in doing so.
Yeah, agreed. And then that ultimately leads us to the next segment, which is setting up for Penta versus Chad Gable, right? You know, and apparently during commentary they were talking and they were saying, you know, first of all, Pat McAfee comes out right before the match starts. He gets his own little entrance, which is kind of funny. But he gets to the ring and they start talking about this match, and Michael Cole is always like, yeah, you know, Chad Gable, you know, is El Grande Americano, and Pat is like, nope, two different people. Like, stop, just stop doing that.
McAfee does a good job of towing the line between heel announcer and and face announcer, because kudos to him when he came out. He got a good ovation and stuff. I wish they would have brought him out before they brought out the other two, or I wish when he came out he would have acknowledged the two wrestlers in the ring and been like, hey, sorry, I'm back. I'm just gonna work. You guys do your thing. I think I would have liked to see a little bit more of a respect angle there, but that's just maybe because I'm just old, or maybe because I got my ass whooped into respecting motherfuckers. Like, I don't know, but that's just what it is. But I think I would have liked to have seen that, but it was good to see him get the pop and him to stand up and everything like that, and Michael Cole to be able to say the nice words, you know, this is my friend and thank you for helping me out, things like that. So it was cool. I was like, all right, great. But I wish that moment would have happened either prior to Penta and Gable coming in, or that he would have at least acknowledged that he took time away from two superstars standing in the ring waiting to get in the match, and now have to wait 2.5 minutes for you to walk down the ramp, salute everybody, stand on the desk, like.
Yeah, this is too much. You're a commentator, dude. Like, I get it. You just had a match and it was awesome, but
it was good. It was a very solid match. Let's kind of just not quit while we're ahead, but let's just kind of stop so we can keep building to other things. But once again, this is you and I nitpicking.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But overall, great match. I mean, these guys ran it the first time on Netflix, so it wasn't anything short from a banger. They did really great. I love the double side of the coin thing that Chad Gable is doing, because, you know, we all assume that he's El Grande Americano. I mean, we don't know at this point, but I like that he's like, you know, outside of the ring, he's like, Lucha Libre sucks. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, just like, I buy
you
it.
wait till that AAA Lucha pay-per-view, and they're gonna gang bust him. Like, it's gonna be like like you go to prison and they got a towel full of soap in there and they just keep whooping you, and it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like that. But one thing I did notice here, and I noticed it later on in the evening, is that Ivy Nile came out with Chad. She didn't come out with American Made later on, which I think that maybe they're just kind of maybe starting to push her as his main valet there, and while he's still with American Made, but they haven't been together too much as of recently that I've noticed. So, but I was like with Ivy Nile here. So, but very good match to your point. You know, two technically sound wrestlers. The first match they had on Netflix, Penta's debut, was fantastic. This was also really, really good, and I thought a really fun ending with Penta jumping off the top, landing, and then hitting a Mexican destroyer right there. Because they were like, Mexican destroyer from the top. I'm like, no, he jumped from the top, landed, and then hit it. But solid ending. I thought really, really good, really cool.
Yeah. But yeah, no, overall, fantastic. I was excited. I want to see where this is gonna go. And I'm really for Chad right now. I like Chad. I like El Grande Americano. And I mean, the Creed brothers, you know, in their match later on in the evening looked really good too.
Yeah.
So I really want them to do something with these guys. You know what I mean? So hopefully we get to a point where, like, if Judgment Day does get all the gold, let's just say, like, at some point, you know, let's get a beef going with American Made, because I feel like that would be really fun to watch, you know, for that level of title and, you know, team and our factions rather, you know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I think that'll be fun to get into. But American Made did look good later on. And no, kudos to Gable. Like I said again in this match, this was great. They looked fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. And then we after Penta gets the win, we cut to Judgment Day segment where Dom tells Finn, hey man, you hesitated on helping him, and what was that all about? And he's like, hey, but aren't I, helping take care of AJ Styles for you? Like, back off. And he's just like, oh, I'm just, making sure we're on the same page, and they're all good, and they're gonna let him get ready for his match later on with AJ. Again, just more and more seeds. I feel like every week that we watch this, it's like 1 minute they're good, 1 minute they're not. So it's like, when is this implosion gonna happen? But I kind of don't want it to happen, but I kind of do, because um I don't know if you picked this up in the last couple of episodes of Raw since Liv has left, really.
Mhm.
You pick up Finn talking to Roxanne in the background several times behind the
Oh,
scenes. Yeah.
no, I have not.
Yes, yes. There, and it's
Mhm.
not even a Judgment Day segment. It's literally when someone's walking out or about to do something, you just see the
Yeah,
two of them in the background talking.
little pieces. Yeah, I noticed that with when Becky Lynch was coming out later
Hmm.
on the back, you see Karrion Cross talking to Kofi and Xavier
Yeah, with the t-shirts.
and giving him the t-shirts, and I'm like, ooh, corner spot. Like, yeah, but I didn't catch that it's Finn and Raquel. Good catch. I'm going to start paying a little more attention to that. Nice.
Yeah. And again, maybe it leads up to that, fantasy faction that I was telling you about with
Yeah,
Finn and Roxana, and then Roxanne rather, and then maybe Julia, and then who knows, right?
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But
But so after the Judgment Day segment, they do a quick replay of Pat versus Gunther. Gets a
wait,
standing ovation.
there was a promo from Roxanne Perez and Julia.
Oh, was that there?
That was
Yeah.
it. That was before McAfee Gunther. That was talking about they're the future of wrestling, and they don't care about
Yes.
Io Sky, they don't care about Rhea Ripley, and I love these two. I've always been around Roxanne Perez. I would become a real big fan of Julia. The main event for this evening's Raw is Julia and Perez versus Rhea and Io. So I was real hyped for that match because these are four of the women that I currently love in this division. So really great promo, like really strong. I thought they both, spoke well and had a case of being like, yeah, we're coming now. Like, so be ready. And I thought it was dope. So I'm sorry, but that
No, you're right.
came before the McAfee Gunther recap.
No, you're good. You're good. You're right. You're absolutely right about that. And then I just to further comment on that. I'm really excited to see them continue to evolve. But then the other thing is, why are they still being introduced as NXT stars? Like, they're consistently on Raw now. I'm just like, bro, what
Well,
are they trying to pay off later? You get what I'm saying? Like, what are they trying to do?
thinking
Right?
maybe this way they can still bring them back to NXT and use them a couple times if they need for a particular reason. Like I said, I am not huge into NXT. You watch it more than I do, so I don't know what the women's division currently looks like, how strong it is. So I think maybe they want to have these two back to be able to do things here and there. And I think it's also to build the us versus them. We're coming in, to your house to take over your spots. You two are the top two here. We want those spots. We're coming in to take those spots. So I think it's also to set up for it's an us versus them situation.
Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense. Okay, all right, you got it. That's good. And then we get it.
Sometimes things hit me. Sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. And then we get the backstage segment between Seth and Braun, telling Braun that maybe they have to beat them into a corner. Oh no, like basically saying like they think they got us beat into a corner. They
Right.
think they have us, but they have no idea what I'm capable of. Like Seth
Right.
is saying like what I'm capable of, and tells him that he needs him to do one more thing before he takes the night off. And I'm like,
Wait a second, dude. You're missing like three things here, homie.
Am I?
Yeah.
No way. Like, what?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Yeah. My bad. I totally skipped that part.
After McAfee Gunther, I have New Day comes out.
Right.
And I have
No,
that big ass letters.
You get the punk and
well, no, hang on, man. Can I finish this? Considering you skipped through 4 segments, let me actually tell you what you skipped before you try to interrupt.
You're right.
New Day came out.
Yeah.
Right. So they came out. They went to the announce table.
Right.
Commercial. Come back. The Punk. They announced that it's going to be Punk and Zayn versus Seth and Braun at Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, cool.
Right.
Then we get to the actual match of the War Raiders versus American Made. And I think New Day did such a fantastic job last week that they were like, we need you out here again. Because while these four will put on a solid match, and they did, the commentary from Kofi and Xavier is just
so good.
Gold. It's gold. It's gold. It's gold. Everything about this was awesome. The match, solid. To your point, the Creed brothers look really good. I've not been a big fan of these guys, and I think they look good. War Raiders, solid. They're a solid team that are going to just come out there and give you everything they have, and that's great. I like them. I'm not huge fans of them, but I like them. I think they're great entertainers. But yeah, the great match. And then I also have here. There's at one point they cut to the New Day has like their feet up on the table, and McAfee's like, "Hey, X, you got on Air Force Ones." And I'm like, "Kofi, what are you wearing?" And they literally go, it's like Bigfoot shoes, because it was these big croc-looking things with the toes cut out.
Right. I saw that.
And I was dying. I was like, "What are those?" Like big, the Hulk Bigfoot shoes, like whatever they are. It was absolutely fantastic. And then, of course, Kofi and Xavier are talking smack about how they want to give good teams the opportunity, and that's why they want to see American Made win. And just, they're knocking the War Raiders the whole time. Like, we just want to face the best. We want to face the best. And then they interfere in the match and cost the War Raiders the match, giving it to the Creed brothers, which I think works on 2 points. A, screw the War Raiders again. And B, you say you want the best, and I think they're playing the War Raiders are better than American Made, and now they have to face American Made and see what comes there, because they're no rollover.
Yeah. And to your point, now that you got me back on track, so I apologize, listeners, everybody, my bad. But to your point, though, I hope it's a situation where American Made actually catches them off guard and take the titles off of New Day.
No.
Where we get like a triple threat tag where New Day's recover. You get what I'm saying? Because you gotta do something. You know what I mean?
Yes, you do. But in terms of what I've said for the past couple of things, New Day just got the belt also.
Yeah.
You can't make them believable, and you can't, if you're gonna strap, pull it from them right quick, even if you're gonna give it back to them, because this is kind of like, well, why? So I think New Day holds for a little while. I think what happens is they cheat to beat American Made, and they're gonna just continue this heel run to Money in the Bank, maybe SummerSlam, and then get beaten. So I don't know how it happens, but I think I see what you're saying. You do have to do something, but I don't think it has to be a title switch.
Yeah.
There's ways to do it. Run-ins, even throw in a ladder match, something there that they bury somebody under the ladder with weights and then they climb up and get it. And, something like that. I think you can do something that doesn't necessarily involve changing the belts.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay. I like it. And then really quick, this was a segment that I skipped to. Seth Braun talking.
Right.
Ultimately, Seth saying, hey, just do what you got to do before you take the night off. Leading into Jey Uso coming out, yeeting all over the place.
You gotta go back a second. You gotta go back a second again. Man,
why?
It's a good thing I'm here.
What are you talking about, man?
So they're talking about it, and then you might have said this before, but we just clamoured on about 5 minutes that you skipped. So at the end of the promo, Seth is like, I'm out. But Braun, I want you to do something when I leave. And then he whispered something in his ear. And you see Heyman smiling in the background.
I mean, I basically said that, but okay.
You said that maybe at the end of the first one, not just now. You're like, it's coming and it's over, and then they walk away, and then here we go. No.
Here we go. Anyway, Jey Uso comes out, yeeting all over the place, and
all over the joint, man.
And it was really like eye-opening to me. I was like, man, this dude is really over,
bro.
He is
the
so
whole arena, 12,000 plus.
Yeah,
plus just. Hands and normally I'm like, I hate people who are this over. I'm not even mad. Like, my man earned his stripes and he's taking it, and he's found the gimmick, he's found the verbiage, he's hot as fire, and man, strike while you can. I thought I'm a big fan of everything happening with Jey Uso right now. So I was quite happy to see that entire stadium just eating. Yeah, you got the E shirt on, baby. For those who can't see, Eddie got the E shirt. I'm sorry, El Nino got the E shirt on, man.
Yeah. And awesome segment because he comes out, yeets all over the place, yeets again, and then basically calls out Logan Paul for their Saturday night's main event and everything that's been going on between them. But then a surprising Gunther comes out, which I personally liked because based on the outcome of Backlash, I feel like this sparked that fire back into Gunther's, ring general persona, and he comes back out and he tells him, he reminds him, well, first Jay reminds him that he tapped out, but Gunther says, the unimaginable happened, and it came true, but just know that a rematch is happening after the outcome of Saturday night's main event. So whether it be Logan or you, he's coming back for, what's rightfully his and all this stuff. And at first I was like, oh no, we're going to dog Jay again. But then Jay just comes back and is like, nah, I am the actual champion. And he just barked right back. And he looked like a formidable warrior, no afraid of nobody, bro. And I loved it. I thought this boosted up Jay so much to the point, and he's looking swole, right? I mean, looking like a little. I mean, I don't know if it's the tattoos or whatever, but he's
well, it's the baby oil and the tattoos.
Yeah, looking a lot more jacked in this segment. But I will say this: I don't want it to happen, but I also feel like we are in a different, under a different regime where we're not. I don't think we're doing long title reigns. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, Jay will lose it soon. And it may be to Gunther, it may be to somebody new, but I don't think he makes it to Summers. I think he loses it at SummerSlam or before. That's my prediction.
I mean, I would probably say take it to SummerSlam, giving him a 4 month reign because there's a lot you can do. But in terms of the segment, it comes out, Gunther comes out, and I agree with you. I thought this was great because I was like, it was only a matter of time before he said, I deserve my rematch.
Yeah.
The spot that you created in Backlash, or for Backlash, in terms of him being annoyed with McAfee and Cole, was great because it was only a couple week build. It gave Gunther something to do, kept him viable. And then, like I said, Jay was able to, now he's got this thing with Rollins and now Logan Paul. And now, Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Everyone's coming after you now. You're the guy. And that's what Gunther was like. He's like, I've been champ 80% of the time I was here. I know what that is, but I am a champ. You're not used to having that. You don't know what that means. You don't know how to carry that. And I think that was the beauty of it, is he was like, I have to remind you of who you are. And that's when Jay came back. He's like, who I am. Listen, mother, I'm the champion. Like, I got this right here. So come on. Like, it was like, no, I thought it was great. I thought it was a great way to, like you said, to make Jay look good. I agree with you. Jay looked like, standing in front of Gunther, it didn't look like the matchup it did at Mania or prior. It looked a lot more, he looked physically imposing. I agree with you 150% on that. I thought it was really, really well done. A great way to get Gunther out. Let him know, like, listen, I'm still coming for what's mine. You still, like, I still get my, which is still what annoyed me about when Priest lost to Gunther, is he never got that they put him with Balor and then it moved to something else. It was annoying. But Gunther was coming back. So I think it's also fun to throw all of these things at Jay and kind of see what sticks. Really good segment, really well done. And the way Jay ended it with just being in his face, one letter, 4 word, or no, 1 word, 4 letters. Yeah, like, and then Gunther just sitting there like, damn, I left the opening and he sunned me because I left the opening to sun me. Like, you don't know who you are. I'm a champ. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, I can't say anything else because he beat me and I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But great segment.
Yeah. Super, super excited about that. No matter how it ends up after Saturday night's main event, which I feel like he will beat Logan. But
I can't imagine them putting the belt on Paul a month and a half after giving it to Uso, who you've built for. Right. How, winner of the Rumble, crying out loud. Like,
yeah, for sure. No, I can see that. But again, we're gonna have to just watch and see what happens. But your favorite next segment is the Io Sky promo, where Yeah, you did the emote, yeah,
Vice
bro.
Queen, Vice Queen.
Oh man, that's gonna make a great reel. I can't wait. and and yeah, man, another one that's looking tough. It's like you sunned me, you mushed me, you did all these things, but you will respect me because I am the champion, and I will sun you in English and in Japanese. Awesome,
Right. Two
awesome,
languages, B, let's do it.
awesome.
I loved it. Loved the package. Thought it was great. Let her stand tall. Give her what she needs. Love Io. I can't talk enough about her. It's funny because I was doing a text with a couple of my fraternity with some of the APDs, some of our fraternity brothers,
There you go.
and I was texting them, let them know, the podcast was new and everything, and they were kind of chiming back and forth. And one of my boys, Mark, who was our Japanese listener, was like, "Oh yeah, when Ariel just talks about Io Sky, he's like, he's just gushing the entire time," and I'm like, "Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Like that's because I love her. Okay, so leave me alone."
But awesome promo package, which leads into the Sabu tribute package after. And although,
Almost in tears. Almost in tears.
yeah,
Almost in tears. Like and to the people who listen to us who are wrestling fans, you know what I'm talking about, because obviously you're probably within our range group. You've seen him, whether or not you were as much as, because we grew up with wrestling, and these guys were in our house once a week since I've been 14. These guys, Sabu was in the house once a week up until recently. Like, so almost in tears. Like it's a life taken, and it stinks, and but just once again, man, just rest in peace. It's a damn shame, and I'm glad that before they cut, while they had the picture up, that you could hear the crowd chanting, "Thank you, Sabu."
Yeah,
like I was really, really happy that moment happened, because he deserves it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that. And the only thing that I will say, and just more so like on WWE's part, I think maybe the mushy side of me, the attitude era side of me, I guess I just miss those like, like Creed musical like like video packages.
Oh, like when they did Johnny Cash's "Hurt" when Eddie died.
Oh gosh, yes. Like
But if I need a good
hurt
cry, I'll watch that on YouTube. I'll be like, you know what? I need to shed some tears. I hurt myself today, and I'm like, oh god,
and
here
they
it
did
comes.
so many different versions of it too. They did like the Three Doors, "Love Me When I'm Here," and I was just like, oh, why?
Yeah, it's a great montage will change your day for either good or bad. But yeah, but I also think Sabu, only being around WWE for but so long, and having issues with certain superstars and stuff like that, I think it was more so just kind of like of acknowledgement, respect. But it's not like where they come out and they stand, they ring the bell 10 times,
right.
you get that package. And
I know, but that's my only thing.
But
It's like,
I agree with you. But he deserved it.
Yeah, for sure.
He deserved it for what he did, and not just for ECW, but for wrestling as a whole, in terms of, and I don't want to say like helping bring hardcore to the mainstream, but that's what he did. Like he took these shots and these bumps and made other people feel like, okay, I can do that too, and kind of, brought it in, and just kind of, man, because ECW did change the game for what it is, man. I mean, wrestling is as standard could be, but ECW did come in and change the game a little bit, and he was one of the major factors. Him, Dreamer, Sandman, New Jack, RVD, Taz, these guys, the ECW mainstays, the franchise, Shane Douglas. Like, I mean, we talking, man, just fantastic wrestlers, and he deserved it, but I know why they didn't do it.
Yeah, agreed. And then moving into a lighter segment is the Ludwig interview, quick interview of saying, "Hey man, you haven't been,
hey, you stink.
You stink.
You stinks recently. You."
We haven't seen you in ring action." And then ultimately, before he gets a chance to even respond, cameraman runs to the commotion happening in the background, and we find out that Jey Uso has been attacked by Braun Breaker, which reveals what that favor or plan was before Seth leaving. There you
Mhm.
go, trying to bring it full circle because
Yeah, because I have to clean up your mess.
because the storytelling police is gonna get me.
But it was funny because they even said it because when oh my god, I forget her name right now. The woman who was interviewing Ludwig.
Yeah.
Like even before you say, she was like, "Oh wait, actually, we might have to run over here because you hear bang crash." Like then you go, "Oh okay," and then you see him on the floor. Sorry, Jay on the floor and Breaker standing over him, Paul in the back, and then here comes the Hurricane. And he's like, "Get him out of here, man! Get him out of here!" And for once, Braun Breaker listens and like walks away. And he's down, and Sami Zayn comes running over, like, "We need medical help him. What happened?" He was like, "No, no, no." Like, okay.
Yeah. But curious to see where that leads to next. But then we move forward to AJ versus Finn. Always great, right? And
I mean, yeah. Well, there's one thing I want to bring up before because there's a spot that I'm remembering that I don't have written down. I think we passed it. I'm not sure. There was a segment where Punk was talking to Zayn in the back because they have their tag matchup. This is when they announced their tag matchup.
right.
And Punk is like, "I don't know who I can trust."
Right.
And Zayn's like, "You can trust me." And I'm like,
yeah.
So that's why when this segment happened, I was like, So just to bring that back. Sorry, let us get back to Finn.
Wait a minute. Wait, no, rewind that. Wait, are you insinuating that it wasn't Braun that did it, but it could have been Sami?
No. I'm insinuating that maybe Sami Zayn might be in Paul Heyman's camp. Because he said, "I can't trust anybody. I couldn't trust my best friend. I couldn't trust this. What makes you think I can trust you? You can trust me." What's the one thing that happens after someone says you can trust them? Stab you right in the back.
Yeah.
First thing that happens when it's done. So I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I did write it down after that promo when I wrote possible heel turn?
Question mark?
Never know. No, I'm not saying it's going to happen. Kind of fun. Not sure how that would work because Zayn really only wants a championship, and if Rollins has it, what are we really doing here? So not sure, but I just thought that was interesting because he made it a point to be like, "I can't trust anyone." Well, you can trust me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. AJ versus Balor.
Yeah, I'll run through this last couple of things pretty quickly. AJ versus Balor, always a classic. These guys know what they're doing. Judgment Day comes out and interferes and tries to interfere. But ultimately AJ picks up the win because Penta comes in and helps. And then this is where we get that Mexican destroyer on Carlito. Like, this dude cannot catch a break.
Outside
every Monday,
the ring.
He's just getting destroyed by Penta or by Braun Breaker or by somebody. And it's wild.
By insert wrestler name here. That's who he's getting destroyed by.
But ultimately, AJ gets the win. Then obviously Dom nowhere in sight either to help.
Right.
So question mark there. Then we get the Becky Lynch promo, which again, I love the match, but I just I didn't like this only because
I was good with the 7 minutes of like I didn't need it. It was a great come on. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't like it because she took a page out of John Cena's heel promo book of blaming the fans. And I'm just like, okay, no.
It doesn't work here.
Yeah.
It doesn't work here.
Copy and paste.
I'm not buying it with you.
Yes. No, thank you. But I'm sure I'll put my foot in my mouth again and we'll have a spectacular match out of this later on. So
probably.
But moving on, we get the Rusev promo. He didn't want to do it, but I had to do it promo. And I like it because it's kind of like God of War type of attitude. It's like, hey, you know what? I have to do this. Or even Thanos, right? It's like he doesn't want to destroy the world.
Right. I'm trying to bring balance. Like before you get lost in being just a crappy wrestler, let me wake you up so that you can actually be something good. So cool. Yeah. Like it. Fantastic. Yes. And then we cut to Pierce in the background talking to Tozawa. Tozawa wants Rusev. Pierce says, "You can't, you're not medical cleared. As soon as you can, I'll give him to you." Sheamus interrupts, "Hey, get him when you can." And then he says he wants Waller next week. Pierce makes the match. Fantastic. Because he set up his boy Theory last week. So cool. And then we get to the final match of the night, right? I didn't miss anything on that, right?
No, you didn't. That's
all
what
right.
I got.
The women's tag match. The women's, because I know we're running a little long here. The women's tag match, Rhea and Io versus Roxanne and Julia. And wow.
Yeah. I literally wrote down in my notes, who else is excited for the women's evolution PLE? Because we need that.
This is going to be great.
Because with a tag match like this, with the women's ladders match on NXT, with the women's triple threat and Mania, and everything that we've seen the last couple of weeks with Io and Rhea and Roxana and Julia and Stephanie and we need we need this PLE more than we realize. I cannot wait to see what they come up with for that, because it's going to happen. We just don't know what the matches are. But
it's going to be great. And this match was absolutely fantastic. All four superstars were amazing. Fantastic spots. Really great work. Like, everybody looked fantastic. Ultimately leading to a Rhea Io win, with Rhea and Io standing tall with her hands held up, and the ref has Io's right hand, and she's got the belt in her left, and Rhea grabs Io's left hand, so they're both kind of holding the belt, and then at the end you see Rhea just eyeing it.
Yeah.
Because Io was happy, like, hey, we won, and then she looks over, she's eyeing, and she's like, oh snap.
She's like,
you still want this.
Still my championship, though.
But Rhea just walks away, and she's like, hey, we won tonight. She pat her on the butt. She's like, psst, good one. I'm out.
Yeah. And and great final moment for them. I did like slightly how Io is not allowing any pushover or anything like that, where Rhea was like, yeah, I'm coming for that, but Io had to remind her, like, no, like, I'm still the champion. I am not scared of you.
Similar to Uso Gunther. I'm still the champ. You still the one who doesn't have the belt. I have what you want.
Right.
So
yeah. And then we get executive producer.
Lee Fitting.
Lee Fitting. I want a shirt that says Lee Fitting.
My man. We should get shirts that say executive producers, Paul Levesque, Lee Fitting.
Lee Fitting. That's it.
Just hold it up. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And then actually it should be an undershirt. So that way when you want the conversation to be over, you just quick shoot and then you're out. It's like, it's over because the show is over.
You know what this means. Yeah. Bye-bye.
It means we're done. No, but overall, fantastic PLE for Backlash. Enjoyable, rather. And Raw definitely was very enjoyable.
Very solid Raw.
Yes.
Very solid Raw. And I'm looking forward to Smack. And I also read something that SmackDown may be cut back to 2 hours soon.
Yes.
Which
is good news for our listeners.
Which is for our listeners and for viewers is fine, but for the superstars, people are just going to start losing time again and stuff like that. But great Raw, great, and definitely good for our listeners because we just drone on sometimes. We apologize, but we're very passionate about this, and so we hope you guys are too, which is why you're listening. And if you're not, turn the volume down and just leave us play.
Yeah, there you go.
Why not?
Every sound, every listen counts. So
it's important. And thank everybody once again. We'll take this moment, or I'll take this moment. I know Eddie will back me up as soon as I finish. To thank everyone once again for listening. Family, friends, everybody, share, please. primosforlife.com, TikTok, Instagram, things like that. Personal text and Instagram with us. If you want to get down and get involved and whatever, please. We're just looking to try and keep this going and keep it expanding and make it better and just have fun. So we appreciate everybody and thank you kindly once again for everything that you guys do for us, because if we had 2 listens, we wouldn't be doing this. So thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with everything that Ariel just said. And also just want to put out there too, our listeners, please feel free to reach out to us on Instagram. There's an email now on the website, everything. Mm-hmm. If there's anything you want to talk about, it doesn't have to be WWE. We could talk about wrestling in general. We could talk about other promotions. We could talk about dream matches, whatever you want. We've had other fans of the shows hop on an episode with us. And obviously we got so much more in store as well coming down the pipeline that we got to wrap up, but we definitely want to make time for those conversations as well, So absolutely. By all means, please.
And once again, that also means if we're friends on Instagram, you can personally reach out to us. If you're not going through the Primos for Life page, you can hit me on a side DM or a Facebook Messenger or whatever. Hit Eddie the same way. anything you guys want to talk about, we are happy to do so, because we would love to be able to bring another body in here and converse. When we did it with Mark, when we did it with King Mega, CJ Prim, you know, these, like, when we did it all. And I'm sorry, I was trying to remember your homegirl's name, because she was
Brianna.
dope. Brianna was dope. Like, that was great. So please, like, anybody out there,
yeah, Rich, you know, Rich out there,
yeah, man, like, definitely. So please do, and thank you guys for everything.
Yeah, thank you everyone for everything, and we're excited to keep going. And como siempre, Primo, you know what you got to do.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you kindly for everything that you do for us. We truly appreciate you. We're humbled by the fact that you've given us an hour of your day whenever you can. Thank you very, very much. We love you all, and we will see you when we see you.
We will see you when we see you. Take care, everybody.
Later.